Welcome to the 9th day of the free-to-play in 30 days guide. Today we're taking a break from the grinding and getting a little bit strategic. I'm going to walk you through where and how to get every free champion in the game, from login rewards to missions you might not even know exist. Then we're going to put that knowledge to work and crack some ancient shards to see if the RNG gods wants to play nice. Let's dive right into it. First off, there's going to be a whole mess of champions that you're going to be able to get through the daily login rewards. So at the end of this series, High Katoon is going to be a champion that we are going to achieve. But you can get other epics such as Yaga, Dark Aethel, Dark Elhain, Lordly Legionnaire, Sill of the Drakes, Tainix Hateflower, Gresh the Mangler, and Vizix the Unbowed. And those are just by logging in every day. Furthermore, once you get to 271 days, you'll cycle through fragment characters that are going to give you a variety of different other champions. From the summoning portal, there's a whole bunch of different champions that you can get as you go that are free within the game. Empress is a mythical champion. He's insanely good, and you can get him from fighting the Chimera weekly and getting rewards, and within those chests are often going to be fragments to actually collect him. Quintus you get in fragments by getting to gold 4 status within the live arena, and it sounds pretty intimidating, but it's actually fairly attainable, and he's one of my personal favorites. Circe is a bit of a weird one because it's free, but you can pay to advance this. It's through the Player and Play points program, which is the points that you get daily to log in, essentially. Do you want to follow along with your own raid journey? Well, here is the start for you. Click the link in the description to get a free Karato, as well as the epics Anax, Uugo, and Mausoleum Mage. Here's what you need to do. Log out of Player and Play on PC and uninstall. Click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Launch raid and complete the tutorial, and then go into your inbox and claim your first champion. Click the link in the description now before it expires. If you want to, you can actually get a Chronum here. Chronum is not a bad champion. He's pretty solid. But the referral program is going to require you to refer yourself to another account and then open up that account and then get them to grind those accounts all the way to level 50 each. You do get some good rewards, but then you're going to have to do that again, and then you can get the Chronum. Dragstar is probably one of the more obtainable ones because you can just get him through the Bazaar, which is the market that is just for the Tag Team Arena. So if you just complete in Tag Team Arena, you can buy his fragments for 360 gold bars, and then those are going to add up. You can buy them daily, and then technically if you have enough bars after 100 days, it's going to be good to go. Okay, Thea, Urost, Gomlock, Varl, Basatha, Vassal, Jinro, Ganjar, and Chromax. All of these champions are collected the same way, and that is by competing in the Doom Tower. Now, I don't quite have the Doom Tower unlocked, so I can't really show you, but essentially, the Doom Tower is just going to be a series of waves of content that you have to beat with bosses every 10 levels, but every so often, there's secret rooms. If you complete the secret rooms, you get 3 fragments of those champions. Yannicka and Yakarl. These are going to be in the clan shop, and you can buy their fragments for either 100 gold, or in Yakarl's instance, since he's a Void Legendary, 150 gold, and you can buy up to 5 of those fragments a week, so it's going to take you around 20 weeks, assuming that you have the gold to buy all of those every week. Mithrala is likely going to be one of the first free legendaries that you're going to end up acquiring, and furthermore, she's probably one of the best. You're going to get her through completing the Hydra clan boss. Hydra resets weekly, and it's a series of bosses. It's a fight. You just try to do as much damage as you can, but it's a fairly accessible one. It can be a tough fight to get going right off the bat, but getting those first chests to start getting those fragments is fairly attainable. Lammasu, also a fairly obtainable champion, assuming that you're fighting within your clan wars, because Siege, which is our clan wars here in Raid Shadow Legends, is going to be the mode where you get her. So with Siege, you have to be in a clan, you have to be level 45, and then every other week, so opposite of clan versus clan, you are going to be fighting another clan, and if you win, you get fragments anywhere from 5 to 8 or so. Now, Jamarsa also goes hand in hand with Chromax, going to the referral program to get her. You'll get her before you get Chromax. Archmage Helmet, Rian, Akoth, Taya, Darkale, Gwyneth, Z, Laburga, and Krakarth are all also Doom Tower champions that you can acquire through the secret rooms. There's a normal track and there's a hard track. The hard track gives you the legendaries. The normal track is going to give you the epics. Then there are 2 rares that you can get also through the bazaar. And these 2 champions specifically are there because they're also going to help you get another champ. As far as the fusions go, these champions are accessible to every player. It's just a little bit different path of who gets them when. Mikage, essentially, you can't just get these champions. You can't farm them within the game. But as you acquire them, you can get all of these champions here to get Lady Mikage. Relic Keeper, kind of the same thing, but he is obviously more available than all the other ones because you can get every single one of these rare champions, as you can see, within the campaign, and it even tells you what stage of the campaign that you can farm these. Once you get enough of them, you can fuse him, and actually, he's one of the few that you can fuse over and over and over again. Broadma is a very similar aspect to that. There's 2 that you can fuse through the bazaar, and then there's 2 that you can acquire by getting commons and fusing them up and then getting here. And you can also fuse Broadma over and over again. Rosin is a little bit of the mix of Mikage and Broadma / Relic Keeper, as there are some that you can farm. For example, this Valerie you can go and get in Karato Castle, but some of the other ones you can only get by acquiring through Shards. And then once you get those champions, you can fuse them up into the epics into the legend. Now, Maud is a champion that you can get, and you can get multiples of them. You will have fragment fusions, where you collect things like this by completing tournaments and rewards to go ahead and get champions. And then you can, any extra ones that you have, or if you didn't finish one all the way, you can convert those into Maud fragments, and then you can get her throughout time. I don't even have this champion. Within the Cursed City, there is also a mythical champion that you can acquire, Carnage the Tyrant. So this champion is also available. Some of these are not things that you're going to get within the first year or probably even 2 years of playing the game, but they're going to be a long grind to be able to acquire over time. But most champions beyond your couple are going to be just through the shard acquisition, and as we had mentioned, that there's only going to be a couple times where you're going to want to pull shards, and that is when there's a fusion that you're trying to compete in. I don't think I'm going to be able to compete in the upcoming fusion. As you can see, we have a legendary here, Hound. It's going to be an orc. It has some synergy with some other champions. Looks like a pretty cool one, but I don't have the resources to be able to compete in this. But there is a summon party going on, which is we're doubling the chances of receiving epics and legendaries. So this is what I'm interested in. So here now we can finally see that there's a 2x chance and a progressive 15, 20, 25x. This one here is misleading because you think, oh, 15x, that really increases my odds of getting a champion. When it doesn't. Your odds, because of this progressive chance, are the exact same to get a legendary. This chance down here, the double chances of receiving epics and legendary champions, that's the one that you want, because that is going to give you the most bang for your buck. But it doesn't go in here to hurt to pick a champion. I think I'm going to pick Tholan because I didn't go for the fusion. I didn't pick him as a referral champion, and he seems like a pretty cool one to go. So as you can see, we now have, instead of 8.5%, now we have 1 whole percent chance, awesome, right, of getting a legendary, but 16% chance of an epic. Now that's what's going to be most impactful for my account here. So I'm going to pull these 14 shards because they're going to give me a bunch of value, because I'm so close to getting to Hanorok 2 level 6 star, but I have all these 3-star champions, but I don't have any 3 stars to feed into them, and I need to get that progress going. And a lot of these champions that I'm just going to know whether they're good or not. For you and your account, what I suggest you do is, if you're not sure and you think they might be good, look them up on hellhades.com. Okay, Aethel is one of your starting champions, so if you're interested in building a rare, she's really not that bad of doing, but she's probably just going to get fed, as most of these rares are. There's really only a handful of rares that are going to be super impactful for you on your account, and not many of these are. So even though we have double chances of getting epics and legendaries, that's not a guarantee that we're going to get anything good, and we just want to keep pressing this button, and we're essentially just rolling the dice here, trying to get ourselves an epic, which is a Zelotot. So in the reviews, they really aren't that bad, but I'll have to read the kit for myself. I've never really used them. A1 attacks one enemy, has a 15% chance of a sleep debuff. Okay. Places a shield on all allies equal to 20% of this champion's max HP for 15, places a shield buff on allies equal to 20% of this champion's max HP for 3 turns and a continuous heal for 2. Okay, and not too bad. It's on 4 turns, so that's not very good. And attacks all enemies, has a 50% chance of placing a sleep for 1 turn, and has a 75 chance against enemies under debuffs. Okay, I don't think he's particularly good. Looks like he does have some uses that some people like, though. Okay, so we're looking for a little bit better than than that, Elhain also one of the starter champions, so we're just one Gaelic away from having all the starter champions all together. Okay, another epic. Okay, a Quargon the Crown. Okay, attacks one enemy and then has a chance of increasing the duration of a random buff on an ally. Heals by 15% and then puts a shield, but this goes to a 3-turn cooldown, so that's really not too bad. And then here places a perfect veil buff and an increased attack for 2 turns on all allies whose attack is higher than their defense, and then a block debuffs for 1 turn and a 30% increased defense for 2 turns on all allies whose defense is higher than their attack. So that's not too bad. That's a pretty good turn. It goes down to a 4-turn cooldown. Kind of slow, but overall could be useful. All of these epics I'm going to keep anyway. Right. This is one of the rares that I think can be pretty useful because she puts a decreased defense on the A1, which is helpful in the clan boss, a decreased attack, which is helpful in the clan boss, poison, that's helpful in the clan boss, and then poison sensitivity, which makes the damage of poisons do more. So she is a champion, a rare that is going to be pretty solid, particularly in the clan boss. So maybe I'll dabble around with her and build her up. Okay. Oh, we got a legendary? We're so lucky. Man. A Glacia Soul Guide. I've never pulled this champion. What the heck? Okay, so attacks one enemy, has a 30% chance of placing a freeze debuff for 1 turn. Also applies a debuff spread effect, taking 1 random debuff from the target and placing it on all enemies under freeze. And then attacks all enemies, places a weaken debuff for 2 turns, and then also steals 1 random debuff if they're under a freeze. And then places a block debuffs buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also has 60% chance of placing a freeze debuff on all enemies for 1 turn. Fills this champion's turn meter by 15% for each freeze placed. Okay, and then a passive. This champion's skills cannot be put on cooldown. Whenever an enemy tries to put either this champion's skills or an ally skills on cooldown, places a freeze debuff on that enemy. Also has 50% chance of denying the cooldown increase effect. The freeze debuff cannot be blocked or resisted and will not deny cooldown increasing effects from bosses. I mean, she's not amazing, but she's pretty cool. And you can see that the reviews really don't like her. I will admit we're in a bit of a weird situation now. And the reason why is, I didn't mean to click that. The reason why is now I have so many legendary champions to try to build up. I'm spread too thin, and probably one of those epics will be the ones that get built up way before she is going to be. Okay, Siegebreaker, no good. I mean, can we be so lucky to get 2 legendaries in 1 pull? Okay, boom. Okay, this guy has some pretty good uses. A1 provoke, AoE 40%, 50, 60. It's actually a 60% chance to stun, and it's on an AoE. And then puts a strengthen and a shield out on all enemies, and it's equal to 15% of the target's max HP. So this guy is particularly good because of the stun, which is really good, but then also his passive heals his champion by 50% of the max HP whenever an ally or an enemy dies. This can be helpful in certain Doom Tower bosses. Okay, pretty great session so far. Let's see if we can end with anything good. Another Siegebreaker. Okay, so it's important to note that we pulled a legendary, but notice that it wasn't guaranteed to get this stolen. But now the next time if we were to pull another legendary on this event, we would have an increased chance of getting him. But what gave us the better chance of actually getting the legendary was a 2x. Okay, so now I should have enough to get some of these champions to their next rank. I think I'm gonna hang on to that 1 rare. Petrus, I can't remember what that champion's name is, but either way, what this is going to do is this is just going to further my progress towards getting my next 1-star, or my next 6-star rather, going up. So as you can see on a new account, we decided to pull our shards, mostly because I could use some of them. So again, you can see that this puts me in a weird situation where I have all these champions now. Like, I think I want to build Berengari. I have an extra legendary. I still want to build Anax and Uugo and all my other champions. And actually, I wouldn't mind dabbling with this rare Petrifia. This champion here. Either way, now I'm really spread thin and I don't necessarily have the resources to get all these champions to the max level, to the max ascension, all that different stuff. Which is why I would advise not pulling all of your shards all the time, but rather kind of taking your time and building them up as you go.